Can we please cut the shit? There is no bombshell that is going to end the Trump presidency just because one person put it on the internet. There is no impeachment that's going to happen anytime soon that's going to save this democracy. If we want to remain here on YouTube as a source of information that people trust, we really need to stop the bullshit. Only about 50% of what I saw on YouTube last night matched the headlines. Nothing is going to end Trump just because you sat on your ass and posted it. So let's cut the bullshit, really. You know, if we want to compete with corporate media and not be sellouts and not be regulated by the government or censored, we need to stop acting like people that are in it for the money. This is the John Brown Alliance, where we don't fear, we fight. Please like and subscribe to this video. It costs you absolutely nothing, and I am not here to make money. I'm here to speak truth to power. And the rest of you should have enough respect for this platform to do the same. Socialism is, before I get to that, this has been one hell of a weekend. And if you think this clown show is going to end by a 2026 election, you're sorely mistaken. We need to get off of the cloud and stop buying into the bullshit. Now, black and red people have been telling you this since Columbus landed. When are you motherfuckers gonna listen? I don't understand. Anyway, socialism is stone crab at Maralago. And what the fuck, Chuck caving into the shutdown. Now, our sources say that this shutdown and the caving of Chuck Schumer happened because major corporations were pressuring Democrats to end the shutdown before the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays, because they are not going to make money as long as people don't have money to spend. Makes perfect sense, right? That's the real news. That's what's really going on. Now, over a few hours, I also found out from a source, which I cannot confirm, that Chuck Schumer voted against opening the government. Now, let me be clear. Since Barack Obama was elected president, Democrats in Congress have been acting not in the best interest of black and brown Americans, but in the interest of corporations and their donors, like AIPAC. That being said, we are at the tail end of this particular part of American history. People are waking up. They realize that all the campaigns and the I need $5 because we need to keep the House and the Senate from Democratic leaders was just in the interest of them keeping their jobs. Every single time that Democrats were in power, back to the time that Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the House, they did nothing but usurp the United States Constitution because of optics and act totally against the wishes of the American people. As a matter of fact, Both impeachments of Donald Trump were stalled by Nancy Pelosi, Merrick Garland, and Mueller. But I digress. While this whole weekend was happening, thousands of Roberto Dutertes, who have been donned by Donald Trump as law enforcement officers, and Kristi Noem, have been running amok in the streets of the United States of America. And what you have right now, with the combination of the celebration of the richest people in the United States of America, of the decline of the middle class, is the perfect storm of pre-Holocaust Germany and revolutionary France, all wrapped up in one. ICE right now is stealing the personal effects of detainees. This is exactly what happened in Nazi Germany before the Holocaust. Evil is now MAGA's drug of choice. They say that they are bombing boats in the Pacific without permission from the United States Congress to declare war. Because these boats are bringing drugs into the United States of America, even though none of these vehicles in the water has had enough fuel in them to sustain a trip to the United States of America. The families of these individuals are coming out and saying these were fishermen. These were leisurely, people enjoying the water off the coast of South America and in the Caribbean. And then Chuck Schumer caves. This is not about health care and food stamps. The world is watching. This is about funding a terrorist organization that has control of the finances of the United States of America. That's what this is. This isn't fascism, 1940 style. This isn't fascism, 1930 style. This is fascism on steroids, predicated by white privilege in a country that has the most money circulating through it in the entire world. And these are not geniuses. They're con artists. And they conned every white American who voted for Donald Trump into buying into this bullshit. And not one of them is getting a dime out of it. Yet, they're eating stone crab at Maralago. And their congressmen had been on a 6-week vacation on our tax dollars. While what I call the Mountain Dew Mafia, these toothless motherfuckers that supported Donald Trump, don't know how they're going to feed their families or be able to afford a Thanksgiving dinner. But maybe they don't deserve that Thanksgiving dinner. Because when you vote against your own interests, you deserve absolutely what you get. Now, I was sitting here watching a few hours ago Don Lemon. He came to Washington, D.C. in the rain, um, and he was able to get footage of Donald Trump being booed at a Washington football game. Now, this pathetic idiot who shits in his diapers is so starved for attention that he had to interrupt our Sunday of football to come to Washington, D.C. so he could be the center of attention. How pathetic is that? At any rate, while Don Lemon went out on the street and he was interviewing people about Chuck Schumer caving to the shutdown, there was some dipshit in the comment section who kept putting up this thing that said, United States, open the government, military deserves to get paid. And after about the fifth time that thing showed up, I got a little pissed off. Now, I come from a predominantly military and law enforcement background. Probably everybody in my family but me has been one or the other. And what I have to say to this individual is fuck you and fuck your check. You don't deserve your check as far as I'm concerned. And people are going to say, oh, you said that about the military. No, it's the military under Donald Trump. First of all, if you want your check and you want to get paid and you want us to open up the government, how about you support a government for the people and by the people and stop taking illegal orders from a fucking fascist? How about you do that? Do that first. You don't deserve a paycheck when you know full well that every action you take from this so-called commander-in-chief usurps the United States Constitution and violates the oath you took to protect American citizens against domestic enemies. And that's what these people are. They are fucking terrorists. Why aren't you doing that? And if you sign up for the military, you sign up to die for this country. Not feed your fat fucking face while people, kids younger than you, are out there starving. And I found out just how selfish America is when all they cared about was the military. You don't give two shits about the kid that doesn't give school lunch. You don't give two shits about the kids whose parents are being dragged off by ICE. All you care about is your fucking check. And you know what? That makes you very pathetic. Because unlike you, I don't get a check from anybody, including YouTube. I have been trying to file for disability as a disabled person for 10 years and got absolutely nothing. All I have is Medicaid. And because we're going to go open the government, that's going to be taken away. And I'm probably going to die. So fuck you and your military paycheck. Feed your fat ass face on our dollar. I don't get any money for building your bridges, tearing down buildings in Washington, D.C. full of asbestos. I don't get any money for that. But you get money for defending a fascist, a criminal, a pedophile, someone who pardons people who beat up police officers? And a person guilty of treason against the United States of America. That's what you want. You just want your fucking military paycheck. Well, fuck you and your paycheck. Because every person that goes out there and protest against the Trump fascist regime is a person that deserves to get more money than any person that serves in the United States military or law enforcement under ICE or Homeland Security right now. I am thoroughly disgusted at you for demanding that. And you are okay. You want the government open so you can get a fucking check. But fuck kids dying of cancer and fuck kids who don't eat all week. That's where you stand? That's what you stand for? Do us a favor. Go AWOL. Get out of the military because you're an absolute embarrassment to the integrity of real veterans who will be in Washington, D.C. on November 22nd. You make me sick to my stomach. This is the John Brown Alliance. Have a white day, assholes.